What's up, everybody? We are back. This is the latest episode of Real Estate Uncensored, the place where you get actionable ideas, insight, and inspiration to turn your real estate career into a life of freedom. And we have no guest today, so we're going to have a lot of fun. We are taking your questions in the Facebook group Lead Gen Scripts and Objections, which is about to top 50,000 members. Our good friend Aaron Wittenstein started that group several years ago, and it's grown like a weed. It's a great place to post questions like this, but we do love dipping in every few weeks or so, basically, and pulling some questions and answering your questions. And so, first of all, the Junior Grandmaster is in the co-pilot seat where you so belong.
I do.
Greg McDaniel, what's up today?
What up, buddy? Hey, man, I do belong in my box. I love my box. I stay in my box.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, dude, it is going to be a lot of fun. The questions that it's like you see a pattern of questions from newer agents and veteran agents. You see that as it progresses, the different styles of questions that they ask.
Yeah.
I think what we need to do is we need to put together a FAQ. And then when someone asks something, here, this is all the answers to all of your questions of life, child. Go with it and, do well for yourself. But it's, Aaron, I can't believe they're going to be at nearly 50,000. It's so crazy how he's grown that group. And the crazy thing is that like you and I have been introduced to really cool people. We got introduced to a guy, Bill, Coach Bill, who is I actually hired as my own coach. I think as of when you guys hear this, we may or may not have released that episode yet, but keep your ears open for that. It's a really cool episode where Bill slaps me in my place. And Matt silently was chuckling away going, "Oh, get him, Bill, get him." But we got some good questions today, and I'm excited to answer them.
We do. So I'm going to start off with a couple on FSBOs. So first of all, this one is from Jeff. Says, anyone have any good scripts for calling older FSBOs from a few months to 1 year ago that never listed? So in other words, they never end up working with an agent. You can find them. They're out there. Maybe they're on the market. Maybe they're not. But they at one point in the distant mist of the past put their home up on the market as a for sale by owner. So Greg, what say you?
I'm just kind of getting into the FSBO thing. So a lot of you guys are veterans on it, probably have a better twist. Well, I don't really care. This is my show, and I'm going to give you my answer.
Good to know.
So in all honesty, I'll BS around. I'll BS, besides. One of the things that I've found is, calling up and just being authentic to them. Just going, hey, Matt, my name is Greg McDaniel. I'm a real estate agent here in the Walnut Creek area. Hey, I'm calling around. It looks if my paperwork is accurate, that it looks like you're on the home, but it looks like you may have came off like 2 or 3 weeks or even a month ago. Is that correct? Or maybe even longer? Okay. Did you or did you not?
Yeah, we did end up pulling the home off the market.
Okay, then I'm going to steal this from Aaron. I just got to ask, man, how in the heck did that house not sell? It looks amazing.
Yeah, that's, when you have yourself for a real estate agent, the real estate agent sucks now. No, here's a real one. Now it just, like the market is just, it's changing, and we weren't seeing the response that we wanted. We got a like one lowball offer. I was not super happy with it. We had people traipsing through the house for the first couple of weekends that we were on the market, and everybody said that they were interested, but then either, they didn't make an offer, or the one offer we got was just way too low. So yeah. I think we're going to sit, we're going to see what the market does.
You know what? I can totally understand that. If someone showed up and they gave you your price, would you sell still? Is that still something that's on the table, or have you guys just decided not to sell?
Yeah, nothing's really changed. We obviously still want to get, moving on. So yeah, if I got my price, yeah, definitely. Do you have a buyer?
No, I sure don't. And I'm not going to be the guy that's going to call up and tell you that I do have a buyer, because that would be misleading, and I wouldn't be able to trust myself or, sleep at night knowing that I misled you. So no, I do not have a buyer. I just want to first call and see if you were even thinking of still selling. So break script for a second.
Yeah.
Zach Beach, he has a great program that I'm going to be working with Zach personally on helping kind of finding these properties to flip. And he has a great question here that he asks people. And he says in his scripting, well, if I could get you full market value or even a premium, would you be willing to sit down and, to see if we could, if I could get those numbers for you? Because
it's a really good question.
You didn't use a number. You said full market value or a premium. Right? Obviously, Matt, what do you think of? Do you think of full market value? Do you think of premium? Where does your mind go?
You hear premium, like, ooh, there's a way that I can get more than full market value?
I can swindle people? You scoundrel. Yeah, but I mean, that's what people are seeing. And the whole thing of these scripts, guys, is just to get in the door.
Right.
At that point, it's up to you, homie. If you can't close the deal,
well, let's clarify that for a second. We don't mean it's just to get in the door, as in you're being misleading. No. You would ask that question. If you go back and listen to I think you said it was Zach Beach, right?
Zach Beach, yeah.
So the reason you'd use his script, which comes from his work with Chris Prefontaine. So if you go back and listen to either one of those two guys' episodes, you'll know what we're referring to. What you're doing there is you're setting them up for an appointment to look at what you can personally do as an investor and not just as an agent.
Correct.
You can basically come out and they say, well, yeah, what do you mean by premium? Like, what do you mean? Say, well, look, I'm not just a real estate agent. I'm also an investor, and I'm connected with other investors, and we have a whole network of people, including hard money lenders all across the Walnut Creek and the East Bay area. And so what I like to do is I want to find people that are interested in selling their home, because there's 2 or 3 different ways that I might be able to help. And it really just depends on what pencils out for you guys and what makes the most sense for your situation. So if you wanted to, if you're open to it, we can have a conversation. I can take a look at the house, and not just to list it, but see if I'm actually interested in buying it myself, if the numbers work out for you guys. Is that something you'd be open to? That's a completely different offer. And I've got friends like Tom Caffarella up in the Boston area. That's how he got started, was having those types of conversations and realizing, oh, wait a minute, 80% of these aren't good investment deals for me. I should start a brokerage and start listing them and making the listing commission. Yep. Right? So there's people that have stumbled across this strategy. Jeff Latham came across it through the agent avenue. Tom Caffarella came at it from the investment avenue, and so did Chris Prefontaine and his guys. So anyway, that's the point, is that you're not just saying whatever it takes to get an appointment. You are taking a completely different approach if you legitimately can back it up with a genuine investment offer once you show up at the house.
Yeah. And then, so guys, go listen to Chris Prefontaine's information, Zach Beach, go watch, connect with them. They give you places to connect with them. Yep. Matt and I, our jaws literally fell to the ground when we first started talking to Chris Prefontaine. We're like, wait, what? You can do what?
Yeah, next level thinking. Yeah,
next level thinking, and they have it all set up, guys. I mean, if you join the organization, and this doesn't intend to be an ad for them, but I mean, it's prefacing the scripting. Yeah. But I mean, if that's not something you're into, then what I would say, look, you know what? At this time, if I was able to provide a buyer, would you still sell? Yes, they would. Great. Is there an opportunity I can come by and take a look at the home? So I want to make sure I'm looking at the most up-to-date version of your property in case you've upgraded anything in the home that I can then help sell when I meet the new buyer at the open house.
Mm-hmm. So, well, that's also a great. It's also a great comeback if they ask you if you have a buyer. Now you could go straight at, like, there's a way to handle that from a purely an agent perspective, which is to say, no, we're working with a lot of buyers, but it's not like I've got someone that's seen your house and wants to go see yours specifically. I think it might be a good fit, so I want to be able to recommend it to buyers. So you can go that way, and that's one option. Yeah, you could. The other way to handle it is if you've got your investing thing set up to where it's legit and you're in integrity to be talking about it. You can just say, I might be a buyer. Like, I'm not just an agent, I'm an investor, and I'm always on the lookout for good deals. Mm-hmm. And I have some unique financing options that gives me some options that other people don't have. So whereas some other investors the only way it works for them on paper is to offer you like way below market value. I've got other options that gives me more flexibility to where I might be able to offer you, full market value or a premium if things work out on paper. If you've got, like, that's a way better comeback for no, I don't have a buyer. Way better. That will get you into the door a lot easier. You just have to be, you have to be in integrity, and you have to have your ducks in a row first in order to actually legitimately say that and for it to come across right. So I wanted to point that out real quick, and then I've got another question that I'll follow up with you. So this is from Marie. She says, been contacting FSBOs lately. I'm taking Bold right now. For anyone that's not familiar, that is the KW training program that basically gets you calling. And so what do you say or ask when they tell you they already have an offer? And I've got an idea on how I would handle this, kind of continuing on this line of thinking if you've got the investment offer. But just from a purely agent, let's say you're an agent, you're a listing agent, you're going after the listing. What's the best way to handle that objection? I already have an offer, because most of the time that's just them trying to get you off the phone, in my opinion. Yeah,
I would ask them, oh, that's fantastic. Is it everything that you want in an offer?
Ooh. That's like Greg, I appreciate you coming up to me, but I've already got a boyfriend. Like,
you have a boyfriend?
Great. That's fantastic. Is he everything? Like, when are you guys getting married?
Is he everything that you wanted?
Is he everything that you dreamed, that you'd hope for? Is he like, are you excited to get married? Like, well, we're not really, planning. Okay. Well, now I know what's up.
Good. I'll give you 30 days. I'll give you a call. We'll see how that works out.
That's hilarious. Is it everything you want in an offer?
Oh God, I love it how we just took it and put it right back to dating.
Everything comes back to relationships.
It does. It really does. And everyone can relate to that, especially all the girls out there.
Yep.
I wish hot chicks would come up to us all the time and be like, so you got a girlfriend? And I'd be like, who's asking? You asking for a friend or for yourself here? Huh?
Yeah, exactly. We can always hope.
We can always hope and dream.
That's right.
One day we can break through the glass ceiling too, Matt.
That's right. That's right. We're fighting for gender inequity, and there should be more girls asking guys out.
Hot girls.
That's
hot
right.
girls.
We're a champion of the people.
Yeah, champion of the people. Equal rights, damn it. Equal rights. So
in case you forgot the question, it is what do you say if they claim they already have an offer?
Seriously, ask them if it's everything that they wanted. And if they're like, yeah, it's everything and we're going to be accepting, I'm like, all right, cool, man. Thanks for your time. See you later. If you change your mind, remember my numbers, blah, 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 yakety smack.
Okay.
And just keep on moving, man. If they aren't going to give you the time of day, don't sit there and beg for it. If you sense that they need help, if you sense that you can bring value to that person in that situation, then continue. But if they're like, no, man, it's cool. Like, we're already in contract. We remove contingencies. We're solid. All right. Okay. Hey, best of luck. Good luck with it. Have a great day. Bye. Click. Next phone number.
Cool. All right. Well, let's take a step back for a quick second, and then we'll shift gears. And I've got a question for you that's more from working with a buyer perspective. So before we do that, just a quick thank you to WiseHire for supporting the show. We love them. We use them. And they are setting up a little discount for us. We'll have a URL coming for you guys that by the time this episode is released, we might have that in the show notes. So make sure to check that out because they're going to be giving a very nice like a monthly ongoing discount to anyone that signs up as a result of hearing about them on the show. So make sure to either mention us or check the show notes for the link. But basically what they do is they streamline the whole hiring process, right? So if you are running a team or you're a solo agent, you're getting ready to hire your first part-time or full-time assistant, which I know a lot of you are, or you're having to replace someone on your staff, make sure to go through WiseHire because all the ads are pretty much templated and written for you so you can really quickly go in, get an ad up and running on the major platforms where people can find you. And then WiseHire sends them through an assessment and the disc profile and matches them up and only serves up the people to you to interview who are a great fit, proven based on what the disc profile has shown us works for each position in real estate. So it's a phenomenal system. We love it. We've had Jay, the CEO, on the show several times. He is the man behind the disc assessment that's on Tony Robbins' website. So this is the legit stuff. So make sure to check out WiseHire. And then for EXP, if you really want to turn your real estate career into a life of freedom, I can't think of any better way than to actually build passive income by continuing to do the things that you're already doing in real estate. And the best part is you get plugged into the amazing culture that our good friend, Coach Hank Avink, has built and around the 36 to Life and all the amazing people that we've had on the show from that world, like Monica Weekly and Gail Zentek, that you get to be in a relationship with through us. So if you're interested in that, Greg, what's the best way to reach out and connect with you?
Guys, real simple. Go to bookmcdaniel.com. It's simple. bookmcdaniel.com. Book 30 minutes with me. I'm not going to chew off your fingers. It's going to be a safe environment. We can go there and talk about EXP and see if it's the right place for you to switch over to. I can show you in a spreadsheet how we'll plug in your different fees and the different EXP fees. I can show you on a graph and a chart on a spreadsheet exactly how much more you'll be making every year based upon your price, number of units, and the fee structures. So if that's something that's interesting to you, which I think it should be, go to bookmcdaniel.com. Let's have a 30-minute call. All right, There we go.
Cool. All right, so this question is from Ryan Lally. It says, what do you say to a buyer who keeps focusing on what the seller paid for the house? So here's the phrase. If they bought it for $350 2 years ago, I want to see a list of updates so that I can understand why now they're asking over $400.
This guy sounds like a fucking pain in my balls.
It does.
Jesus. The fucking guy.
To be fair, that there are other reasons for those types of pains, but
being summarily kicked in them.
Well, that too. That's right. All right. So what, besides the buyer, let's deal with the specific objection. What do you think is before we get to what do you say, where do you think this is coming from? What's the fear? What are they protecting? To go back to Bill's episode, which I thoroughly enjoyed.
Skepticism. They might not know the process either. They might not know the market. There's some people out there. There are certain, how do I word this properly? There are certain groups of people that always want a discount and a bargain. Mm-hmm. And so no matter what you show them or reason with them, hey, the market has jumped 12.3% in the last 2 years. The market's, jumped 15, 20% in the last year. They won't rationally get it because they're thinking in their head like, well, it was only worth this amount of money, the 350 2 years ago. Why am I asking? They're asking over 400 now. I don't think I can justify that. So you have a choice on your hands at that moment. You can either, and it would probably take, if this happens more than twice, then you need to really reconsider your use of time. Mm-hmm. But if you take the time, explain it to them, break it down, give them what they're looking for. Like, hey, look, 123 Main Street, right? This property, they've done this, and this to the home. The market's appreciated X amount has changed to this level in the same amount of time. Price per square foot equals this potential list price. They're accurate. Now, if they don't understand the logics and the math behind that, then you have to say, look, is this a good use of my time to work with this buyer? Because they will drag you around by your nose. They will make you look at house after house after house, and they will never buy anything because they're always going to be, air quotes, too expensive for them to justify it. You will waste hours and months of your life working with people who will never put a dollar into your bank account. I did that when I first started the business. I mean, Darlene was one of my first clients. Love Darlene. I worked with her. Wait for it. Drum roll. A year and a half. Finally got her into a damn house. She looked at every home on the market. But then I helped her sell her house. She bought another house. I bought and sold her daughter a couple of houses. And then we split ways because she hates my guts. And she's a cranky old bird.
Okay.
But, besides that part, it was worthwhile, but not all the time. It won't always work out that way. But yeah, those are your two choices, guys. Take care of your time and where you spend it, because you don't get it back. I mean, I question my podcast time with Matt all the time. Like, am I going to get this hour back with Matt? Mm-hmm. Not. It's a shady part of life. Well, not right now because you can't see Matt, but Matt is burned to a crisp, so he is bright red. And for the first time in a long time, I'm actually dressed up, and he's the one in the t-shirt. And I'm like,
yeah, exactly.
What alternate reality did I step into? This is.
Yeah. Well, my parents came down to San Diego for the first time since I've lived here. We showed them around a little bit, and we went to the beach on Coronado a couple of days ago. Nice. And I didn't think anything of it. I go to the beach on a semi-regular basis, at least, or so I thought. But apparently, near the beach, just standing out there, I got to burn my forehead and my nose, so I'm peeling all over the place. So I look like a leper.
That is the Midwestern of you, like your pale skin exposed to real sunlight. Like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Okay. Final question for today. This is from Scott in the lead gen description objections group. Says, working with the buyer, and he hits me with, well, my spouse and I have decided not to pursue a home purchase now.
Okay. Well, what changed?
Good question.
Help me understand what changed. Well, blah, 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 blah. Okay. And then what you need to do is just dig in and understand. Now, I'm not saying dissuade them from their decision. I'm saying understand their decision. It's, like anything else in life. I've come to realize this, Matt. People in your life will tell you exactly what they want as long as you listen and you understand it. Like, okay. if you're a guy and you're dating a girl, usually girls are really good at being real fucking clear on what they want. Like, I don't want you to do this. You go do it again. They yell at you. I don't want you to do this. You go do it. They yell at you. See the cause and effect here?
Yes. Getting a nice sneak peek into your past relationship.
No. I'm a caring, sensitive human being that always listens to everything that you have to say, except for you.
Yeah, except for me. Yes, because I've been on the receiving end of Greg not listening, so I have no idea what that's like.
Wait, what were you saying?
Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, right. So I'm working with my new coach. And I started rationalizing, looking at that, looking at my life and stuff, right? And the girl that I'm dating now is just zero bullshit, man. She's zero bullshit. And I was like, why do I keep getting yelled at? Oh, because I keep doing stupid shit. And so I started understanding this. And yes, Matt, you've been working with you for 4 years. And yes, you were right. There, we got it out of the way and it's recorded. But I started just reacting differently to it. And I started just using my ears, and I started hearing what people were saying to me all over the place. And it was, and we took the ego out of it. And I think that's what a lot of people get in trouble with. They get in trouble with their ego because you say, well, what do you mean you don't want to buy a house anymore? I've spent all my time with you. I've done this. I've done that. Look at me. When in reality, you're making yourself the hero of the story instead of the guide. You need to remember that you're the guide guiding them through this process. And this is their home purchase. This is their future. This is their money, their decision. So understand those, why they're doing things, and then just remain friends, stay in contact, bring value to them. And when the time is right for them, and if you've done your job, they'll say, hey, Greg, we're ready to do something now. It's that simple. But we get caught up in our own thoughts, and we think that we're entitled to a commission just because we spent a couple of hours in the car with them, or a couple of months, or a couple of weeks. Look,
well, and I'll throw another thing. Yes. And so I 100% agree. And I'll add to that. It goes going back to the coach that you're working with. He asked a question that was really good behind the scenes when he was talking to us about relationships. And he said, whenever you're having that kind of conflict, just take a step back, ask yourself, what are you protecting?
I love that
amazing question. Amazing question. That's been coming up for me over the last couple of weeks. Not in relationships, but in other areas.
Damn it. I was going to jump all over that.
Yeah, but it was good. Like it definitely, it caused both you and I to think about some of the disagreements we've had behind the scenes on the direction of the show and just what to do. And, just the normal stuff that comes up in being in a business partnership. And looking back on those, we realized, oh, I was protecting this and you were protecting that. And okay, well, let's get that out in the open. And now we both understand. We're pretty good about that.
Yeah, we are. We actually really, really are.
Yeah. And so that to me, that helps. But when it comes to agents asking these questions, because I see these questions a lot in all the Facebook groups, I have this problem with a lead. Basically the question boils down to, what magic things can I say to save this deal? And the bottom line is that there are no magic words. Some words are better than others. Some objection handlers are better than others. But the bottom line is you authentically have to have enough leads so that any one lead doesn't matter. That's the only way for most people. Now you've got some people who can, they're wired differently, and they can, for whatever reason, they have no fear, or they just have insane confidence that they can go out and get another buyer or another client whenever they feel like it. This is not addressed to you. You're fine. You don't have this problem. I'm addressing the people who ask this question because what they're protecting is that sense of that scarcity sense that, oh man, if I lose this person, I don't have 5 other people behind them waiting for my time. Right. To me, that solves almost everything. In fact, I was just reading this the other day. David Baker, who coaches agencies on how to grow, noticed this same thing. There's the ones that have the wild, unjustified confidence, and then there's everybody else, which is like the 80% of most people. Right. And the only way to get that confidence is just to have more leads. The bottom line is you need more people vying for your attention. And if you have that, then you never get attached to any one particular lead. Overly attached, right? So that you can have the authentic conversation. Like a lot of the stuff that we talk about on this show, the phrasing, the scripting, Greg, that you use, the scripting that you learned from your dad, whatever it is about your dad and people like him, they have this sense that, number one, there's always another client. He's said it before. There's always another train coming down the tracks.
Boxcar, yeah, exactly.
Right? There's always another boxcar. So he had that, and what that translated into is it gave him complete freedom to do and say what was in the client's best interest and not in his own, which leads to things like telling somebody 25 years ago that they shouldn't sell and foregoing that commission 25 years ago. They turn around and list it with you guys, and you get a commission that was probably 5 times the size because they sold for 5 times the price. But you can't have those types of really authentic, genuine conversations where you're not attached to the outcome unless you have other clients and leads in the waiting. So to me, the fastest answer to that is not to look for the magic words. The fastest answer to deal with that is to focus on lead generation and make sure you have options so you're not overly attached.
Last year I was I was clinging to buyers, and I had that scarcity mindset last year for me personally. And so I had that whole theory that we just talked about, and working with Bill in coaching, I asked him how to get over that. He's like, just send them love, dude. I'm like, how the fuck, send them love? What are we, like a utopian society? Everything's perfect. He's like, yeah, bro, this is how I live my life. So I'm like, okay, I'm paying you to coach. I'll listen to you. I start sending them love. So I want you to, I know you guys are thinking I'm going to bust out the crystals and the incense soon, but I'm not. Shut up, Matt. But I started, when I had shitty things like happen in my life or just things that bum me, I'd be like, dude, it's cool, man. I love you. Like, this is where I need to be. I started doing that slowly, or just like in my head or whatever. Bam, instantaneously things started dropping out of the sky. People are sending me referrals, leads are calling me back, people want to buy shit, I'm getting calls for listings, and I'm like, what is going on? This is ridiculous. Like, right after this recording, I'm heading off to work with a new buyer that was referred over to me. They want to buy like $700,000, and they found 2 houses they really, really like, and they want to put offers in. I'm like, okay. I have another client that she went dark on me, for the last couple of months. She hit me up yesterday. She's like, oh my God, we found the house. We want to make an offer. We're going to move quickly on this thing. I'm like, what? Okay, this is cool. I'll keep living this stuff, but just don't hold animosity. Don't hold anger. Just understand where they're coming from, and then just stay in touch. Be a cool guy, cool gal, or a cool Johnson. I mean, that's whatever.
Right. Well, that's what we all aspire to be. All right. Gregory, as always, make sure to get a time on your calendar, bookmcdaniel.com. Make sure to review and rate the show on whatever your favorite podcast platform is, whether it's Apple Podcasts, iTunes, Spotify, whatever. Make sure to leave us a review. If there was a particular guest episode that you really enjoyed, we talked a lot about, Zach Beach and Chris Prefontaine, Bill Heinrich. Make sure to give them a shout out in your review. Thank them for their time and their contribution. And if you like the solo episodes where we go deep on Q&A, shoot us questions. Message us on Facebook. That's the easiest way to get a question into the show. Just message us on Facebook. Greg, anything you want to say?
Yeah, dude, you got to pick a color, homie. Color. How did you forget the bow color?
A bow. I know. We got to tie a nice little bow around this. So in honor of the book that just arrived, I'm going to go with a nice deep magenta.
Ooh, a magenta.
Look at that.
Ooh.
So I just got this book that looks amazing. This is Horse Sense, How to Pull Ahead on the Business Track. It's an older book by Al Ries. It's the book that they wrote that was for a non-marketing audience, like a general audience. And it's all about how the most successful people, they don't just plow and hustle their way to success. They find a horse to ride. And the different types of horse. Yeah, it's an amazing concept. So I just picked it up. It looks really, really good. I believe in the core concept already. I don't believe that you can out hustle bad strategy. So if you're interested in getting the strategy right first before you start hustling, this is a great book to pick up. So go get it. It's called Horse Sense.
That's awesome, man. Well, as always, you have a library for a brain. So good to impart your wisdom on us peons. For the rest of you guys, I love you to pieces. Thank you so much. Matt and I just really appreciate you guys and gals for listening and sharing our information. If we can do anything more for you, let us know. But until then, peace out, my dear friends. We're gone.